Hey everybody! I wanted to do an update because I haven't done one in probably a year and just give you a heads up on how things have been going. I turn 47 tomorrow. Can you believe it? It's been a year. Wow. And I've been reflecting because we do that, like you reflect over the year and wonder, okay, what happened in that past year and what can I learn from things and where am I heading? That sort of thing. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. But I have been pretty quiet this past year with regards to, doing worship times online, being more active in communicating with you and sharing new music, all of that. And to be honest, I've kind of been in a rut. And I believe it was more burnout. I was dealing with burnout for like a year. And kind of turtled a bit and wanted to recover from a lot of different things. My husband had stage 3 colon cancer, and we got through the chemo treatments last year. And just how that really affects a family and affects the dynamics. Your loved one, you love them, you're taking care of them, and you're not sure what the future holds. And so I also quit my job last year, which was really hard for me. And it was very abrupt, and I didn't really want that to happen that way, but it needed to happen. And they say, whoever they is, when you lose a job or there is a really serious health crisis, those types of things, it can really just affect you. My children, like my son graduated this year from high school, and there's just been, my mother-in-law was living with us. I mean, it's just been constant with lots of different things. And so for me, I was just trying to manage and help my family and help just find a new way of living, if that makes sense. So, thankfully, Brian doesn't have cancer, and we're so grateful for that. His energy level is getting better and better every day. And he still deals with things, because if any of you have experienced the repercussions of chemo and cancer, you still deal with stuff. So there's still that, but I'm really proud of him. He has come a long ways, and he's now a worship pastor at a church here who have embraced us and our family, and we've really enjoyed being there and serving there as worship leaders. So we've really enjoyed it, and they've been super kind to us in this transitional period of our lives. So that's been really fun and exciting. I decided to teach full-time, and we've done that before. I've done that for over 20 years, to be honest with you, off and on, and decided to do that full-time. So I have like 42 lessons a week, and I'm really excited about that. We do recitals, and it's nice to be able to pour into other people and inspire them musically. That's been a great source of income, a great outlet, a way to pay it forward and help other people in their abilities and in their growth. When it comes to singing and songwriting, that has been a really difficult thing for me. I'll just be honest with you. It's been about a year, and I've experienced a lot, I've seen a lot, I've felt a lot. But when it came to actually writing it down on paper and putting it into a song, I couldn't. It wouldn't come out. And it was hard for me because I was thinking, well, maybe I'm not a songwriter anymore. Like, maybe that's it. I don't have any other things to say, and I can't get it out and put it on paper. I was a songwriter for Songs of Love Foundation, which was an amazing outlet, amazing opportunity to help other young children who are dealing with very difficult diseases and write a song for them with their content, with what they've provided for me their favorite kind of genre, all their favorite things. And when it comes to co-writing, I can do that pretty well. I'm not amazing, but I can do that. I can take somebody else's ideas, someone else's story, and I can create something for them. That's not hard. And I really am grateful that I haven't stopped writing completely. But when it came to me, like when it came to the deep things that I was feeling, I couldn't get them out. And so that was hard. That was really, really hard for me. I've been telling you about this song that I wrote years ago called Desert Revival. And I don't understand why it has taken this long to share it with you. I don't know. Sometimes there are things in our lives we don't understand, and that's just the way it goes. But I worked with a producer. He came up with an amazing track that I still really, really like. We went into the studio for 4.5 hours, and I did vocals at Record Plant, of all places, in LA, which was an incredible opportunity. However, there is a stumbling block, and I'm more than happy to tell people if they'd like to know. You just private message me and I'll tell you, but I'll just kind of keep it there. So you can reach out to me and I'll tell you what happened. But it's now in limbo. I can't, there's nothing I can really do unless I pay way more money to try and get this song to be produced, which money has already been poured out onto this song. And we're not willing to pour more money on one song. So that's been very interesting. It's been a year since I was in the studio, and there's nothing I can do. I can't make it happen. So that song is on a shelf, and I have no idea when God will provide an opportunity for that song to be finished. I hope so. I love the song. I love the track. I want to share it with you, but it's stalled out. So kind of weird, isn't it? Anyways, so that song is there on a shelf, and I'm just leaving it there, and who knows what will happen to that song. I think for me, as I reflect back on being 46, I had to re-establish who I was, because a lot of me, especially since 2020, was giving to others and pouring out, like constantly pouring out as a worship leader, previously as a caretaker, as a mom. I was just constantly pouring out. And when last year, honestly, when I quit my job and Brian's chemo treatments were done, I basically hit a wall, and I basically was like, I can't handle it anymore. I just can't handle it. So I shut down, and I'm so thankful to tell you that over the past couple of weeks, maybe a week and a half, to be honest with you, I had a lot of talks with God. Hey, we have a relationship as believers with the God of the universe, which is incredible, by the power of His Spirit. And He listens to us. He listens to everything we say. He knows our hearts. He knows the innermost, deepest parts of our hearts we don't even know. But He is still willing to listen and still willing to help us through the journey, in the chaos, in what we're dealing with, to get us through. And as I was venting, and as I was just crying out to Him and explaining all these things and whatever, I finally came, I know this is a little cliche, but it sort of is true, to the end of myself. Because I had to ask myself, what do I like? Who am I? Who have I been created to be? Not in a self-centered way necessarily, but just God creates us all individually in a different way, right? We're all so unique, and we all have a purpose. He has a purpose and a plan for each one of us. And sometimes it's easy to forget that and forget the joy of that and the excitement and the adventure in it because other things take precedent. Other things come in, or other thoughts or people's advice or events or whatever, they come in and they take ownership over who we are. And so for me, I had to kind of go, who am I? And what is my purpose? Like, what do I feel I really want to do that matters, you know? And I looked down the road of my timeline, and what I saw was somebody who loved to communicate the love of Jesus to others. I always have been that way, ever since I was 6. I talked to my parents and I was like, hey, what was I like when I was young? And I thought maybe they'd say, oh, you sang around the house all the time and you were this singer and all this stuff. But you know what they said? They said, you were very passionate about what you believed in and you wanted everybody to know. And it didn't bother you who you were telling, but you wanted to communicate the truth of who Jesus was and is and love people through that. That was fascinating to me. Another thing that I realized was I've been a performer ever since I was 6. I've been on the stage in front of people ever since I was 6 years old. And not just any old stage. It's been a stage at like the Center for Performing Arts or at the Benaroya Hall or around the world for presidents and government officials and TV shows and things like that. I've done that. I don't know why. I don't understand why that was part of my life story. I don't get it. It's hard for me to look back and go, when I was 19, I was in Calcutta, India as a special guest singer for Mission of Mercy, Christmas production. Why? Like, I was so young. What was I doing? Or being a part of World Vision Youth Ambassadors, traveling the world promoting peace and reconciliation. Why in the world was I chosen to do that? And we talked to all kinds of people. CNN, we performed at the Kennedy Center, we performed for Good Morning America and in Mexico, and I was interviewed in Canada on a radio station. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, all those things are so random, but when you look back, it's like, no, I don't think they were random. I think that is my story. That is my thread. That's who I am. That's where I feel the most comfortable. I remember being on the stage, and to be honest with you, I just performed at the McCallum in Open Call. And some of you actually heard me, which is pretty amazing, and it's been so fun to get to know new people, but then to realize my friends and family and students came and they were able to experience that side. And I was an opera performance major growing up, starting in 11th grade, but in college a little bit. And so I got to sing opera in French. And when I stood on that stage, a lot of people don't realize I've stood on that stage many, many times, actually, when I was in my early 20s. And I remember one time I was probably singing something from it was from Hello Dolly. I think it was that one. It could have been another one. But I was on the stage. I was singing out to the audience at the McCallum. And I just got this sense of, I am home. Isn't that weird? I just felt this sense of, this is my home. And it was so crazy to feel that way. Most people would think, that is nuts. Why would you ever think that in front of 1,100 people? And you're right, it is nuts. But honestly, when I think about it, my timeline, it really isn't. If I've been singing in front of 10,000 people ever since I was 6 years old, and around the world, it makes a lot of sense to me. So I've been reflecting a lot, and I'm not in charge of the outcome. That's something that I came to terms with. I'm not in charge of the outcome. I have no idea what my future holds at all. I can't even try to figure it out. That's one of the things that was hard for me, that was setting me back. and keeping me from moving forward was I was trying to control my future. I was trying to figure out, if I do A, B, and C, maybe it will equal D. I can't. I just can't. And what I also learned was, in my weakness, God is strong. So He's the one who gives me strength to rise up with wings like eagles, walk and not faint. He is the only one who can do that for me. I can't do that for myself. And so the bottom line is, that's a lot of talking, and obviously this is a vlog, okay, and most people won't even want to listen to this. But for those of you who have been on my journey with me, who have heard me sing and have been ministered to, for those who have actually invested in the albums that I've done, for those that have been led in worship by me and my team, you matter to me, and I want to honor you for continuing to be in my life and partnering with me in ministry. That means so much, and I want to be a good steward of that. I don't want to just stop. I'm not ready. I don't want to just stay home and teach lessons, which is awesome. I love it. But I want to pursue what I feel I have been created to do and who I've been created to be. Not for the outcome, because I'm not in charge of that at all, but because it's part of me. Does that make sense? So, little by little, I was telling you, a week ago, I had an idea for a song that came from me. It wasn't a co-write. And it's little by little. I was praying. I was like, little by little, God, I'm going to take baby steps forward. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to write. I'm going to try and sing. I'm going to try and record. I'm going to try and play the piano. And I'm going to try and do these things because they are me. They are who I am, who you've created me to be. And I thrive there. That brings me so much joy. And I don't want to be set back and not move because I'm afraid of the outcome. There's fear in the outcome and in the unknown. You can also, I know me, I can also tell myself down to reality and go, yeah, I can't do that. That will never happen. Or whatever. I can talk myself out of anything. But then I lose a piece of who I am. And I don't want to do that. You know, the funny thing is that here's they again, they say that when you turn 47, that's the most depressing year of a person's life. And I'm an encourager, and to be honest with you, the side of who I am is a sanguine. So somebody who sees the glass half full rather than half empty. That's usually been my default. And that was depressing in and of itself. I didn't want to hear that. I was like, well, that's not great, you know? And I also am a fighter inside. I'm like, no way. Like, if you tell me that that's going to be my most depressive year, I'm going to say, I'm not ready for that. So maybe it will be. I hope not. I hope not. But what I am going to do, and what I'm hoping to do, is to turn the page from the season I have been in and start a new chapter. Start a new chapter. And take who I've been my entire life and pursue that, because it brings me so much joy. I love performing. I love sharing the songs that are in my heart. I love ministering to people and being with you and walking beside you through whatever you're going through. I love writing songs that are encouraging, that can build up the church. You know, I love singing opera, and I love singing Broadway and singing all kinds of things, so that's super fun too. I just don't want to stop. I don't want to stop and say, no, I'm middle-aged now, and I guess that's just not me anymore. So I just wanted you to know that I'm moving forward. I can't control what's going on with Desert Revival. I can't. I don't know what's going on with that. But what can I do? Well, I'm starting to work on the songs I've already written, and one of them is called Paused in Your Presence. And I'm really excited because that is a song I wrote in 2021 coming out of COVID. And, there were hurricanes that were happening, and I started to think about what happens in a hurricane. And there was a newscaster who said, when you're in the center of a hurricane, it's pretty crazy because everything is still. You would think that the hurricane's over. You're not in a hurricane because there's no rain, there's no clouds in the sky, it's sunny, it's still, there's no wind. And I thought, wow, the chaos in a hurricane, we can't stop that. We can't stop what goes on in our lives. But when we are in the center of a hurricane, we can find peace with the Lord in His presence. He is that center. And so that's what this song is all about. And so little by little, I'm working on it. And it's building me up. And it's bringing me joy and happiness. I'm really enjoying it. So I don't know when that's going to be done because it's little steps, baby steps. And I don't have the finances to really go into a studio. So I'm going to try and do this on my own with my own little setup here and then release them because they matter and I know that they will minister to you guys. So that's my update. I haven't given up. I can't be in charge of the outcome, but I can honor you and I can honor the songs that I have written and the songs I'm going to write, and I can use this voice and to bless you, to bless me, and perform and share who I've been my entire life with others and not give up. So anyway, if you want to connect with me, I'd love it. And I just want to say thank you for always being there. I'm excited to continue on this journey with you. And I'm glad that I'm feeling like I'm back to normal again. I'm coming out of the hurricane. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not stuck. I'm pushing forward. Before I was stuck, pretty stuck. Watering my plants, I was pretty stuck. And now I'm starting to get excited and doing things that bring me joy. I hope that's encouraging to you. I don't know where you're at, but there are seasons, and some seasons are longer than others. And if you're burnt out like I've been, I don't know. Every season is different, but there is hope, and there is hope with the Lord. There is hope, and we can trust Him. He's trustable. He loves us so much, and He has a purpose and a plan, and He's super kind. He'll wait, and He'll help us through that, like He did with Elijah and so many other people. All right, well, take care, and hopefully I'll get to talk with you and share some more music with you soon. Bye.